This is the new iPhone 15 Pro Max and it has the titanium finish, the brand new action button, USB-C, we all know that, but there's one underrated feature hidden beneath the skin that actually no one's focusing on, which is kind of weird. You know what? Let's do this the Apple way. See, Apple always talks about how pro their cameras are, especially on the Pro iPhones, but this time, there's a new feature that makes me want to believe them. Look, you already know the specs. 48 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a new 12 megapixel telephoto lens with the Tetra Prism tech that can do 5x optical zoom, but it's not these specs that are interesting. So if you saw the Apple event, you must have noticed them saying this.
And the equivalent of 7 camera lenses.
Yes, the new Pro iPhones have 7 different focal lengths to choose from. Yeah, you must have seen these different lenses with focal length 50mm or 20mm written on them. Now, most people think that focal length means the length of the actual lens or the distance of the subject from the lens. No, it's not. It's the distance between the camera sensor and the point on the lens where the sharp image of your subject actually forms. And this is all in those big cameras and DSLRs. The phone camera systems are a whole different story. See, the actual focal length of a phone camera is around or less than 5 millimeters, and that's obviously due to the size of the phones, but that's where Apple has played a big masterstroke. So there's the macro mode and there's the ultra wide at 13mm for landscape photos. There's 1x aka 24mm, but now when I tap on this, I get more options to choose from. There's 28mm and there's 35mm now. There's also 2x aka 48mm, and lastly there's 5x aka 120mm. And these focal lengths are equivalent of what you would get in a full frame camera. And love it or hate it, it's 2023. Most of us use our phones to take photos. And I think that's where Apple wants to give this DSLR-like functionality to its Pro iPhones. And I think that's bold. To give you a better idea, we shot a photo with all of these different focal lengths in the same location. This is macro, which is super close. This is 13mm, aka ultra wide. This is 24mm, aka 1x. This is 28mm. This is the 35mm photo, this is the 48mm photo, and lastly, this is 120mm, aka 5x. Now, if you look at all these photos separately, they all have a different frame, a different story. I also love the effect the different focal lengths make on a subject. You can see how the angle changes, the magnification, the overall perspective changes with each of these different lenses. Now, generally, the shorter focal lengths are for landscape shots or street photos. The longer focal length is for portrait shots, wildlife, and sport photographers. And I also love the natural bokeh the 5x telephoto camera brings to shots with a human subject. Yeah, this was not shot on portrait mode. These very different focal lengths are also believable because all of these photos are very sharp and detailed. I mean, just look at how well the details are preserved in the 28mm focal length or even 35mm or even 48mm. Now, if you're thinking these are just crops to the 48 megapixel sensor, well, apparently the camera here captures a specific range of the sensor when shooting in a specific focal length, and then it's processed via the photonic engine, and it's very similar to like the super res zoom on Pixel phones. I also like that now you can choose a default focal length for the main camera. You can set it to 24mm or you can set it to these different options. I like the control Apple is giving here. And not just this, all the new iPhones capture 24 megapixel photos by default, but you can switch it back to 12 megapixel, although I did not notice a big difference in terms of size. This is nice, but you know what? There are a lot of other camera features and changes in the 15 Pro Max that a lot of people have kind of missed out on, but I obviously did not. I mean, there's nothing that goes over my head. For example, in the iPhone 14 Pro, the cinematic mode is limited to 1x and 3x. And in 1x, the blur seems unnatural, and in 3x, it's just too zoomed in, and you can't switch between 1x and 3x once you hit record. In the iPhone 15 Pro, cinematic mode now has 1x and 2x, and you can switch between them while recording, and you can even smooth zoom when shooting a cinematic video. I mean, 2x in the cinematic mode is just apt. It's perfect. Also, there is now a way to quickly take portrait mode shots without going to the portrait mode. You can just tap on the F button to quickly get a blur background. Apart from this, there's obviously 4K 60fps ProRes video recording with the SSD connected via USB-C. The camera features apart, let's talk about the other big elephants in the room. Look, I know you know that this is titanium and this is the new natural titanium color, but I did not expect it to look so good in person. It's really classy. And for the curious minds, this is how it looks along with the Apple Watch Ultra. Now, it's also crazy how lightweight this is. I mean, everyone's been telling me it's just 20 grams lighter. What big difference is it gonna make? Trust me, it makes a big difference. You can feel the 15 Pro Max being lighter instantly when compared to the 14 Pro Max. The new iPhones also have these slight curves in the frame that make holding them a lot nicer. Now, all of us use our phones like this with the weight of the world on these pinky fingers. Well, the new curves on the iPhone 15 make this little friend of ours a little more comfortable. Also, the action button is here and it's nice, but I expected more. I personally wanted to work as a mute switch while also working as a button to take photos, launch apps, change focus modes, but that wasn't to be. I mean, technically, it's still possible, but right now, sadly, this is limited to one thing at a time. There's also the new A17 Pro chipset, the new 3nm chipset with a 6-core GPU, and that brings a speed bump over the A16 Bionic. And there are some question marks popping up, so we'll see how it goes. There's also fast USB-C 3 Gen 2 port here, which we have been waiting for on the iPhones, but it's still limited to 20-watt charging speeds. Anyway, you can use the iPhone to now charge other things too and transfer data faster and do a lot more. Now, the truth is we all have a love-hate relation with the iPhones, and the new iPhones are incremental, although the price in India isn't, but you have to appreciate the little changes that Apple does because that makes a big impact. I mean, the iPhone 15 Pro Max physically doesn't have 7 different lenses, and all of these different focal lengths might not even mean a lot to everyone. But this is great for photography. Apple using these professional terms show a respect for photography and makes sense for what is supposed to be a proper pro camera phone. Anyway, that was our kind of a first take, our first impressions on the new iPhone 15 Pro Max and its new pro cameras. But what do you want to watch next? Maybe a detailed review of the A17 Pro chipset, or maybe a iPhone 15 Pro Max versus S23 Ultra, the ultimate telephoto battle? Tell us in the comment section down below, and thanks for watching.